Welcome to free awareness classes on Indian Constitution conducted by Thananallur Educational and Cultural Society through Irinyalakuda Vivekananda Civil Service Academy's YouTube channel everyday. This is me, Mahesh Ammar. Today we are going to start the biggest part of Indian Constitution, that is part 5, which contains the articles 52 to 151, out of which articles 52 to 78 deals with the Union Executive. Here mainly the President, Vice President, Prime Minister, Council of Ministers and Attorney General. Then articles 79 to 123 deals with the Union Parliament, mainly in the form of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Then articles 124 to 147 deals with the Supreme Court. And finally, articles 148 to 151 deals with the Comptroller and Auditor General. And today in this video, we have article 52. According to this article, there shall be a President of India. See, when we are scrutinizing the term President, it is not that much familiar in India during the time of Britishers or before that. For example, you see, when the British Prime Minister Clement Attlee decided to give India independence, he sent a mission that was Cabinet Mission. And the Cabinet Mission came to India and they made mainly two proposals. Firstly, to constitute a provisional government, and that was created under the vice presidentship of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. And secondly, to constitute a constituent assembly to frame the Indian Constitution. And that was set up on 26th November 1946. But its first session was started on 9th December 1946. And the members elected Dr. Sachidananda Sinha as the interim president of the Constituent Assembly. Within 2 days, Dr. Rajendra Prasad elected as the first elected president of the Constituent Assembly. See, thereafter, on 26th November 1949, Indian Constitution was adopted. Here we have to understand one important thing. When the Constituent Assembly was set up in 1946, it had mainly two functions. First one was to create the Constitution for India. The second one was to serve as the provisional parliament. But here, on 26th November 1949, its first function was over. So, they decided to dissolve the Constituent Assembly, and then on 24th January 1950, the Constituent Assembly was dissolved. Then President Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the first President of India, and the members of the Constituent Assembly became the members of the Provisional Parliament. Thus, Dr. Rajendra Prasad became the first President of India, but at that time he was not an elected president by the Electoral College. An Electoral College elected the President of India only after the first general election that was held from October 1951 to February 1952. And when we think about Dr. Rajendra Prasad, only Rajendra Prasad served India in 2 terms as the President of India. Now, we have the 15th President Draupadi Murmu. She is also the second woman President and the first President from tribal community. The first President from Dalit community was K. Narayanan. The second one was Ramnath Kovind. And see, the youngest ever President of India was Neelam Sanjeev Reddy. And the first President who died in the office of the President, that was Dr. Zakir Hussain. Second one was Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad. Among the presidents of India, the real scholar was Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. But the title People's President of India given to APJ Abdul Kalam. See, in India we have parliamentary form of government that we have borrowed from Britain. In parliamentary form of government, president is the nominal head. The head of the government is the prime minister, which means president is acting only according to the aid and advice of the prime minister. But in presidential form of the government, president is the real head of the government. For example, US president is very powerful than Indian president. And you see, when we think about Article 52, it says president is the head of the state. Why? Because all the actions are taking in the name of President of India. All the appointments, all the laws are enacted in the name of President of India. And also he is the first citizen of India. We can also call him as the supreme commander of all the armed forces. And he is the symbol of India's unity, integrity and solidarity. And he is a part of executive, because all the executive actions are coming in the name of President of India. See, President is the constitutional head. That's why even though the Parliament of India discussed and passed a bill, that bill is becoming an act only after getting the signature of the President. And another important point to remember here, we know all are equal. That's why nobody is above the law. But there is an exception, that is the office of the President. President is above the law, because he is the constitutional head. That's why to sanctify that name, we have placed the President above the law, which means it is not possible to take a criminal action against the President of India. We can't arrest or imprison the President when he is in his office. If he has committed any crime, we can arrest him only after removing from the President's office. For that purpose, we have to undergo a process. That process is called impeachment. But that process is itself a complex one. That also we have to understand. But in the case of civil cases, after giving 2 months of prior notice, we can take actions against the President of India. Now I think you could understand Article 52 in a clear-cut manner. I am concluding this session. If you could like this session, please share it as much as possible. So thank you very much.